Hey, what's up, Next Level crew? Welcome to another episode of What's Your Next, the podcast where we explore everything you need to know about franchising and business ownership. And today we've got a really cool topic that is near and dear to my heart. Dave likes recurring revenue. Yeah, no, just kidding.
Welcome to What's Your Next. This is the go-to podcast for aspiring business owners who want to get to the next level, escape the rat race, and give their middle finger to the corporate 9-to-5. If you want financial freedom, work-life balance, and the business of your dreams, you're in the right place. Dave and Stacy Riska, husband-wife franchising duo, openly share their successes, failures, and lessons learned in franchising, business ownership, and working with your spouse.
Yeah, let's start with the basics. Somebody who's even an existing franchisee or a new franchisee, why would they want to own a business? Why would they want to own a business, in this case, franchise, with recurring revenue?
So what is recurring revenue, right? So recurring revenue is kind of, as the name says, it's recurring, meaning it keeps coming in month after month or whatever that time frame is. So think gyms, health and fitness, or subscriptions, anything where, like, on the first of the month, ching, 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 the money comes in every month and you really don't have to do a lot because you're just charging the card. So that is recurring revenue that comes in recurring and regularly.
Love it. Yeah, love recurring revenue. Think dividends. You put your money in the bank and they pay you money. And you don't, it just keeps coming in every single month as long as that stays in place. So that makes so much sense. Why, specifically what is recurring revenue and why business owners or franchisees would be very interested in that. What are some of the common types of franchises that naturally incorporate recurring revenue into their models? Let's give them some information on those.
A lot of the concepts that we work with have moved towards recurring revenue models because they get it. They get it that it can be expensive to get a customer, and our saying is it's cheaper to keep her, right? So once you get that customer, you have higher chance of referrals, but you also know that they're going to be paying you ongoing. So think of like a recurring in the home services space. We pay for an annual contract for our HVAC and for our plumbing. That's recurring revenue. That company gets to charge our card every month for that annual contract that we have. An obvious one is gym memberships, or anything in the fitness space. All of those are based on a recurring revenue model. And every month, that company is dinging the credit card on the first of the month. So they have recurring revenue coming in. Another one that's very common and has adapted quite a bit is the pet service industry. We know, for example, mobile grooming is a big one. And yeah, you can use a one-off service where they come and do a one-time grooming, but they've learned very well how to kind of upsell you into a recurring revenue model where they'll come, you set the schedule every 4 to 6 weeks. And then you as a customer, it's great because you don't have to worry about the headaches of rescheduling and can I get an appointment booked? And usually you get a cheaper price for having that recurring revenue model. It's benefits on all sides. The franchisors love it because it helps them build and grow and scale, support their franchises. It helps the franchisee because they know with predictability how much revenue they can count on. And customers love it too because it's a value-added service to them.
Wow.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. Recurring revenue sounds like a dream, right? And it's a buzzword. Can you talk about the specific benefit it brings to a business or to a franchise? I mean, what's the big deal about recurring revenue?
Right. So I just alluded to some of it. Why is such recurring revenue such a big deal? I can just go get another customer. But here's the thing. It's really expensive to go out and get that first customer. Isn't it cheaper to keep her? So when you have recurring revenue, you have predictability, because as you're budgeting, you already know on the first of the month how much money you're going to have coming in. So it gives you a semblance of, can I cover my fixed cost? Or, how many recurring customers do I have? It also gives you scalability, because as you want to grow and have that empire builder mentality, it's so much easier to have customers already in place than to go out and just continually get new customers one-off. So when you have recurring revenue, it's your marketing costs go down.
Right.
And a big one is we always think about your exit strategy. When you want to sell your business, somebody coming in and looking at it is going to be more enticed by knowing that you have recurring revenue, because they're going to pay a premium knowing that there's already cash flow coming in.
Right. So what about seasonality? Does recurring revenue help with seasonality? I think about the mosquito franchises, the pest control franchises. A lot of them will sell you a monthly subscription to have your treatments done that goes throughout the entire year. It's less, obviously, than it would be if you just did it for the 6 months or 8 months that you have the treatments. So that they're just spreading it over 12 months, which really kind of evens out the cash flow for them. So it can have a huge benefit for budgeting and cash flow for those who are in seasonal type businesses. So let's give some real examples. Can you share a story of a franchise who may have benefited from this recurring revenue model? Is there anyone in particular you can think of?
Yeah, I think about somebody we recently placed in a mobile pet grooming franchise. And they were excited to get their van out on the road, and they were kind of just doing one-off jobs. And they were feeling a little bit frustrated that it was so hard to go out and always get a new customer. And then the franchise started helping them build a recurring revenue model. And do you know that by the end of their first year, their sales had grown by over 30% just by having this recurring revenue? And they were so much less stressed and so happy because now their marketing was so much easier. They didn't have to get so many new customers one-off. They just were focused on servicing the customers they already have.
Absolutely. Great example. Thanks for sharing that. So as you can see, Dave likes recurring revenue. We love recurring revenue models. Great business model for really being able to stay on top of your finances and budgeting when you can spread cash flow out and get guaranteed cash flow to come in consistently. So wanted to cover this. Great topic. Love recurring revenue franchises. Anything else you would like to close with here, Stacy, on recurring revenue?
I would say, as you're doing your due diligence, understand the franchise that you're looking at. Does it have a recurring revenue model? What does that look like? And what tools, templates, technology does the franchise support you with? For example, if the card is always being charged on the first of the month, is that automatic, or do you have to manually swipe the card? So understanding the tools, the templates, the technology, and then understand it from the customer point of view. Like, why would the customer want to sign up for some kind of recurring revenue model? Will you be discounting your services? Will there be some kind of premium? So just think through some of those things as you're looking at recurring revenue, and we know you'll be excited for what that model looks like for you and your business.
Right, and reach out to us if you're interested in learning more about franchises with recurring revenue models. We'd love to talk to you about that. And we also thank you for joining us today for another episode of What's Your Next. If you like our content, again, we appreciate if you like, subscribe, click all the buttons, and we will catch you on the next episode of What's Your Next.